The thing I'd like to go back and highlight real quickly is on discussion boards. Oh, haven't gotten there yet. Never mind. Scratch that. So in this class, it's really important to engage in discussions and the discussion boards, and to actually work in teams on the two group projects that we'll have, which I think are tough to do. Most people don't typically meet, and there are some challenges associated with that. But hey, you know what? That's kind of the nature of international business nowadays. We're a global economy, and people do have to communicate virtually. So it gives a little bit of training in that, and it proposes some of those difficulties. I understand it's tough to work with people on an online setting, but there'll be some techniques to keep that regulated as much as possible. So discussion board, each week you'll contribute to a discussion board. You'll typically post your original thoughts, and then typically have a minimum of 3 replies to others in the class. So you'll have an initial post date, and then you'll have final post dates. So after everyone has a chance to post, then you'll get a few days to go back and comment each day or a couple of days on what your classmates have written. And that's a really, really important part of doing this, because you get to hear other people's thoughts, they get to read yours, and we all learn from each other. So the team projects, there'll be 2 of those split out across the semester. People sometimes communicate via Skype or FaceTime. Whatever method works for your team is great if you can meet. Some people do like to meet because maybe they live pretty close to one another. Exams, there will be 3 exams and 1 final. The exams will have to be taken through the testing center, typically 4 to 7 day window to complete those, to give you some time. 90 minutes per test. You'll be able to have 120 minutes for the final. For each exam, including the final, you'll be able to have an 8.5 by 11 formula sheet that contains only formulas, definitions, theorems, and calculator steps. You can't use any examples on those. The final exam will be taken during final exam week. Again, 4 to 7 day window to complete that. So you have plenty of time to plan ahead. Do plan ahead, though, because some people oftentimes underestimate how important it is to think about when you're going to go there and to make sure that they haven't closed yet. So Show You Knows are individual papers, typically 1 to 3 pages. You're asked to basically dig deeper into a concept, like what is a derivative, for example, would be a question from a brief calculus course. What does that really mean? Late work is generally not accepted except in extenuating circumstances, kind of case-by-case basis. Here's a tentative class date. Now these are definitely going to change, they always do, but I wanted to kind of give you a layout so you have something to go off of. The remainder of the syllabus are things that we have to have in here. Talks about CGCC's philosophy. If you have a learning disability, you have to get in touch with the DRS, Disability Resources Services Center, to make accommodations. We have a learning center here on campus. That's first come, first served, free tutoring. So that's a great opportunity to take advantage of that. Here's more information on it. Plagiarism, don't cheat. It doesn't get handled very kindly, and it's easy to catch plagiarism online, in an online class. Be sure to use your Maricopa account. And then there are just some other little things here. So go back and read through this in more detail. This is just to kind of give you my own words on it so that you can kind of hear somebody reading through it. I know that helps a lot, instead of just having to read through it on your own and seeing this information. So to kind of lay out my quick philosophy, the nitty-gritty, is that this is not a procedural class. We don't teach you how to solve equations and do a bunch of procedures. This class is about critical thinking. It's about reasoning, making sense, understanding real-world scenarios and how the math will apply. So in the discussions, you'll notice that a lot of them do tie into math, but they generally require on a great sense of intuition, reasoning, critical thinking skills. So if you're not a great equation solver, that's not a problem, because we'll be using a lot of technology to do that. On the flip side, we have to conceptually understand what we need to do, because if we don't have no idea how to solve the problem, then we don't even know what to put into the computer. We'll let the computer do some of the black box algorithmic stuff that is really, up to a computer and something that calculates fast. We're not human calculators. We shouldn't be, and that's my emphasis on this class. And you'll notice that in the ebook, that it's all about words and making sense out of ideas. So I look forward to a great semester. Thank you for taking the course. We will be in touch.